Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here, and here's Rudy Giuliani with a Trump press conference that apparently got, this is from the National Post, apparently got flagged on TV. They just stopped showing it. So let's see what Rudy has to say. I haven't seen this, so this is going to be my genuine reaction.
We have filed a lawsuit. The lawsuit actually required that when these mail-in ballots that are highly suspicious anyway, this form of balloting has always been considered the most prone to fraud. That's according to the New York Times when it didn't apply to candidate President Trump.
Okay, good. So now we got a lawsuit. That means, as some smart A said on Reddit, I said, this is going to SCOTUS. And he was like, how's it going to go to SCOTUS? There's not a court case. Well, there's your court case, dummy.
Well, we were supposed to be allowed by law to observe the counting of the ballots. Now, observe means, to any intelligent person, being able to look at it. The way it's interpreted by the Democrat crooked machine of Philadelphia is that the observers can be 20 or 30 feet away, never able to see the ballot itself, never able to see if it was properly postmarked, properly addressed, properly signed on the outside. All the things that often lead to disqualification of ballots or make it very easy to dump 50,000 totally fraudulent ballots because they're not observed.
Makes sense to me. Rudy is a guy who's argued things in front of a judge. And I got to say, watching his YouTube channel and him present stuff on Hunter Biden, he lays things out so a jury can understand it. So anyone can understand it. And that's part of his job. And that's part of his, he's good at that. I think he would have been a terrible president, don't get me wrong, but I think he's good at this.
This went on for 20 hours. While all of you thought there was some kind of legitimate count going on here in Philadelphia, it was totally illegitimate. So we went back to court, and we went before a Democrat judge. No need to tell you what the result in Philadelphia is if you're before a Democrat judge. Obviously a political hack who doesn't know the meaning of the word observe. Observe means to be able to look. Not a single Republican has been able to look at any one of these mail ballots. They could be from Mars, as far as we're concerned. Or they could be from the Democratic National Committee. Joe Biden could have voted 50 times, as far as we know, or 5,000 times.
He's got a point. What's the problem with looking at the votes? I don't see the issue here. They're Republicans, and they're observers. They have to observe the vote. It's not like the Democrats who are running the show can't go, hey, don't touch that or whatever, but they should be there. They should be able to see it. If they're not able to see it, what's the point of having observers?
The ballots could be from Camden. Philadelphia, unfortunately, I can say this about my own city, has a reputation for voter fraud.
Why'd you have to mention Camden? Why'd you have to mention Camden like it was some bad thing, Rudy?
We have a reputation for dead people voting. We're going to go look at just how many dead people voted here.
Oh man, it's going to be quite a huge amount on the rolls, I'll bet.
I didn't think we'd have to do that, but we will. And you have a reputation for people being busted in from Camden voting here.
Really, I didn't know that. Well, that's going to be interesting.
Wouldn't be the first time that happened, but this goes way beyond any of that. And let me also add that this isn't happening just here. We have exactly the same lawsuit in Wisconsin.
Ooh! See, they're not out yet. And I think what's going to happen is their investigation's going to start heating up. They're going to start finding things because Democrats cheated in this election. They always cheat. First off, I'm not saying Democrats cheat like they're the only ones that do it. Both sides do it. But when you're winning an election and you know you're winning, There's no point in cheating. If you know you got more votes, you don't cheat. But, so, I guarantee you, there's very little voter fraud in, say, New Jersey. Despite the fact what happened in Patterson. In terms of votes for Biden, they didn't need to cheat. And Biden's campaign probably knew that. In California, there's no voter fraud for Biden. There's voter fraud probably in the down ballot races that they could lose, but not for Biden. Why would you cheat for Biden in California? If he doesn't win California by a mile, there's no point in even running. Okay? He's got Kamala Harris, a senator from California. He has California won. There's no point in the Democrats cheating there. Same thing for the Republicans in a state like Texas or Ohio or even Florida, really. They had it locked up. Here, you want to come over here? You're licking the cushion now. That's not good. There's no reason to cheat. And there was no reason to cheat in this election at all because Trump was confident he was going to win. Now, maybe you could say, well, maybe some of his guys weren't that confident. Fair enough, but I don't think they needed to do it in a lot of these states. They were looking strong. They were looking good. Trump would show up to a rally. There'd be like 40, 50,000 people. Biden looks like he's having little tea parties with his friends.
Where exactly the same thing happened. Except in Wisconsin, mysteriously at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, about 120,000 ballots appeared.
Yeah. I mean, what the hell, man? That is way too many to just suddenly show up for Biden. And none showed up for Trump?
Oh, here come these ballots. Well, we have no idea if they really are ballots. We have no idea if they're signed, if they're postmarked properly, if it isn't just the same person who submitted 100,000 ballots, and they all got counted. This is the way they intend to win. Now I'm informed by former Congressman Sweeney, who's been going around the country collecting this information. Similar situation in Arizona, similar situation in Nevada, and a similar situation, what am I missing, John? Where are you? In Michigan.
There you go. There you go. These guys are on it. I'm telling you, they're on it.
In Detroit, Michigan. Again, let me be specific what it is.
Detroit, that was the city. I think I saw a still from that. The local news there was reporting about all the malfeasance and thousands of dead people voting and all that kind of stuff. Look, man, this is not going to look good for the Democrats. They've stepped in it. And Trump was ready with this. Eric Trump just said, we've been ready for weeks. They knew they were going to do this. They got the advance word. Look, when you're crooked, okay, when your organization is crooked, the problem with that, the advantage of that is you can lie, right? You can just say, I'm not doing that, and then you do it. The disadvantage is everybody in your organization is crooked too. So they're vulnerable to bribes, they're vulnerable to all kinds of things. So the Trump campaign has people on the inside. They do. They got people on the inside feeding them information nonstop because little money.
This whole new thing that never happened before in our country, these mail-in ballots, which has been a cause of real concern for everyone because they can easily be fraudulent. Well, one of the things that the law attaches to that is the right for both parties to observe the ballot, the way we do with absentee ballots. You make certain it's properly signed. On the outside, there's a signature. You make sure that it's properly postmarked.
Seems simple to me. I mean, what's the problem here? If these people in Philadelphia, and look, I know Philly. I know how people are in Philly. They don't like to be told what to do. So I could totally see it happening. I'm here for the GOP to observe. You're not observing in here. No. So I could totally see this happening. Totally see this. Look, Philly's like every other big city. There's a lot of corruption. We had corrupt cops. We've had corrupt politicians. We've had pretty much corrupt everything in Philly. They can't even pay their bills in Philadelphia. The school board every year goes broke.
You make sure that it's properly addressed, and then you pass on it. A number of these are often challenged by the Democrat representative or the Republican representative. We never got a chance to look at a single one of them. The gentleman here who did this for us says about 100,000 ballots went through that process in the 20-plus hours in which they wasted his time by not allowing him to see a single ballot. Well, that's 120,000 ballots that should just be taken out of the count.
Ooh, that's going to change the math a bit. If the judge rules in favor of that, that changes the math a little bit.
So you want to look at that number, that 120,000 should come out. And this is an area in which Biden is getting 60, 70% of the vote.
I wonder what'll happen if SCOTUS, with 3 Trump appointees, gets to hear this.
I don't know if this is going on any other place. But it is going on in enough frequency in Wisconsin that we've brought suit. Now we'll have to look into 3 other places. What it says to me is this is a concerted effort of the crooks that run the Democrat Party.
Look at the rings on him. They're nice rings. Thick rings. Those are mobster rings.
And you know these big city machines are crooked.
What's that, like, yellow thing hanging out of his cuff, though?
You know, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years of one-party rule leads to corruption of all kinds. Voter fraud is one of the biggest because that's how you keep your power. But we're not going to let them get away with it. We're not going to steal this election.
Yeehaw!
This election gets decided by the people. These people, the elite, they don't care about the people. The people are the deplorables, the chumps. You know, they're not important. To President Trump...
Keep your mask on, dude.
...that he ran for office. And he's the whole reason for which he's carrying on this campaign. So that your vote can mean something. So that your vote doesn't get wiped out by 100,000 fraudulent, meaningless paper ballots that no one gets to observe.
Ha ha ha!
So we are going to continue the lawsuit here. We're going to bring a second one.
Hooray!
Then we're going to bring a federal lawsuit. And we're going to take a very good look at whether we bring this nationally. We certainly are going to bring it here and in Wisconsin. Quite possibly, we'll do a national lawsuit and really expose the corruption. But this is beyond anything I've ever seen. This comes when you think you have so much power and you own the media that you can do anything you want.
Yeah, no wonder they didn't show this press conference.
We're going to fight for the people. We're going to vindicate their right. And the ultimate result is President Trump has won Pennsylvania. I've never heard of a count where you're ahead by 400,000 with 80+% counted, and they haven't called it for you yet. They called California the moment the polls closed. How many votes do you have to be ahead to win, for a Republican to win here? How many votes do we have to be ahead? 400,000 is not enough? With 80+% counted, I think there's only 14% of the vote to go. Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools? You know something? The Democrats do think you're stupid, and they do think you're fools, and that's why you get called deplorable and chumps. So we're going to stick with this. We're going to win this election. We've actually won it. Just a matter of counting the votes fairly.
Who's that on the left? Smoking.
So I'd like to ask.
Oh, is that it? Or we got a commercial in here? Oh, Jesus. Hold on. I gotta get through this commercial, whatever it is. Oh, Jones Breakfast. Come on, man. How could you put a commercial in here, National Post? You greedy people. Nah, I'd do the same thing. I'm just teasing you. Blah, blah, blah. Come on. Oh, skip the ads. Here we go. Oh, that was it. That was it. Oh, I watched it for nothing. I guess there was more of that. Oh, man. That's it? It's the only clip we have? Well, I got Eric Trump discussing Joe Biden's disgrace of a press conference today. Look, it was a good speech. You know, he's very dishonest, but Eric Trump throws a tantrum in Philadelphia. It's somebody's channel, Chris Avalos. Man, hard to find this press conference. Eric Trump press conference today. Let me try Rudy Giuliani, maybe. No, I don't want to do that. Hold on. Let's try Rudy Giuliani press conference today. There we go. Okay. So this one might have a longer one. I'm going to watch the longer version of this. And if there's anything else, I'll let you know. But this seems to be very exciting. I'm very excited. That made me very happy to watch that because now I know the plan. And the plan is they're taking the Democrats to court everywhere. They're going after every vote, and they're going to see if they're legit. And what happens when you do that? Well, a lot of votes get thrown out. Because they're going to throw out the dead people. They're going to throw out the people who aren't citizens. They're going to throw out the fake people. They're going to throw out the ballots that are damaged and incorrectly filled out. Guess whose votes go out the window? It's going to be mostly Democrats, because, especially in Philadelphia, and that's where they're suing. And especially because Trump won, and the Democrats, in my view, had to cheat to win, it's mostly their votes gone. Very exciting. So take heart, Trump fans. There's a plan.